Have you ever felt rejected by unrequited love? Or maybe you feel that people do not value you as you deserve. We often find ourselves trapped in emotional distress because we give too much power to the opinions and actions of others. But it is time to change that and make them regret not valuing you enough today. You will learn to play with their minds until they realize the big mistake they made. First, let's do a small exercise to understand why you are so hurt. Why did their decision affect you so much? Feeling shattered, incomplete in the face of the absence or lack of recognition from someone you deeply appreciate is a clear sign of emotional dependency. This stems from the unconscious belief that our worth and happiness depend on the presence and approval of that person. Before meeting that special person, you were already a complete and autonomous person. But seeking external validation can lead to emotional dependency, where your self-esteem is affected by what others think or do. This dependency makes you vulnerable and can trigger an identity crisis, leading you to question your own worth without that person. Accepting your negative emotions is crucial to healing. Denying them will only stagnate you emotionally, while facing and processing them will help you recover faster and more healthily. By embracing your emotions and reflecting on your inherent value, you can overcome this adversity and move towards emotional well-being and authenticity. Now that you recognize and accept that you no longer matter to that person, it is time to act. I have tools to make those who did not value you despair, and a special surprise for women: they will learn to control a man in an extremely effective and simple way. If you are a man, I will also show you how to avoid being controlled. Today, you will have everything you need in a single video. Get comfortable, pay close attention, and let's get started. Value yourself. In the search for Stoic serenity, it is essential to free yourself from the need for sentimental validation. There is often a tendency to seek approval from those who do not value us, a pernicious cycle that must be interrupted. Consider the case of a former colleague who, intending to probe my emotions, inquires about the possibility of a return. This behavior is nothing more than a search for sentimental confirmation. Such an individual showed loyalty to other colleagues closer to the boss, believing they could climb the ranks that way, and was disloyal to me, distancing themselves from me in my darkest days. For me, they had ceased to be a friend. Although they no longer share my life, they feel compelled to check if they still occupy a space in my emotional world. This attitude reveals not only a desire for validation but also a lack of appreciation for the other person. People will come back after abandoning you, but that's where you will show that you don't care. These people only wonder how much you miss them or what you would be willing to do for them. In the face of an ex-partner, it is crucial not to offer that security. The expectation that one will continue to be a loyal admirer even after separation is an assumption that must be challenged. Instead of giving in to the temptation to confirm those feelings, one must remain firm on the path to emotional self-sufficiency. True strength lies in the ability to remain unperturbed by such inquiries and in seeking an internal balance that does not depend on external validation. Improve your physical image. It is essential to recognize that progress in one's life can manifest in various ways, and this advancement can significantly influence all aspects of our existence. From improving physical condition to enriching the social circle, each step forward reflects an opportunity seized. For the Stoic, these improvements are not merely external but indicative of internal and conscious development. From a psychological perspective, physical improvement can be a form of self-care and personal empowerment that indirectly could generate regret in someone who did not value you at the time. This external change can be a reflection of internal growth and greater esteem, which can lead the person to re-evaluate their own worth and the relationships they choose to maintain. However, it is important to emphasize that the primary goal of any personal change must be individual well-being and satisfaction, not the pursuit of validation or influence over the emotions of others. Stoicism suggests that focusing on one's development and building a positive self-image is more beneficial in the long run than seeking external approval. Additionally, it is essential to recognize that each individual is responsible for their own emotions and reactions, and you cannot control how others will feel or act in response to changes in yourself. This is your time to shine and demonstrate that your worth depends on no one but yourself. So get comfortable, pay close attention, and let's start this transformation together. Ultimately, regret is an emotional response that belongs to the other person and should not be the focus of the actions of someone seeking to grow and improve themselves. Therefore, any positive change must reflect a commitment to self-improvement and personal integrity, rather than a search for external validation or a reaction to the perceptions of others. The Stoic focuses on their own progress and development, maintaining a balanced perspective centered on virtue without being influenced by the fluctuations of fortune or the opinions of others. Enjoy your single life. There is no deeper desire in my heart than the vision of your misery in the loneliness of your absence. Maybe that feeling is familiar to you, the same one you have experienced with past partners, offering them your best wishes while secretly harboring the desire for them to shed tears for not having you close. That emotion envelops you in a warm embrace of need, making you feel important and loved. However, it is essential that you do not give them the pleasure of seeing you yearning. That attitude only reflects desperation. With their departure, a vast horizon of possibilities opens before you that you always dreamed of exploring without the need to seek their approval or company. It is time to embark on adventures that you had not considered before, to immerse yourself in festivities that fill you with joy, and to allow yourself to lose your mind from time to time. It is your opportunity to live fully, to embrace each experience with the intensity it deserves. And is there a sweeter revenge than the image of you enjoying life to the fullest while they watch from a distance? There is no better revenge than one's own happiness, which becomes the mirror where the lost opportunities of those who no longer walk by our side are reflected. Try new and exciting things. When relationships end or friends stop valuing you as before, it is time to focus on what makes you happy. Stop thinking about them and dedicate your time to activities you have always wanted to explore. Have you never been attracted to painting? Now is the perfect time to channel your emotions onto a canvas. Painting is not just an act of creation but a form of communication without words, where each brush stroke can represent a whisper or a scream from your soul. As a single person, you have the luxury of time, that valuable resource that you can now fully dedicate to perfecting your artistic technique. Spend hours studying light, shadow, composition, and color palette, and observe how each element comes together to tell a visually captivating story. When you are ready, share your creations with the world through the internet. Online platforms are global stages where art finds its audience, and your masterpieces can shine. Imagine the satisfaction of receiving praise from strangers and acquaintances, recognizing the talent you have cultivated with so much effort. Those who once knew you superficially may begin to see the depths of your being, and perhaps, just perhaps, someone will regret not fully appreciating the magnitude of your creative spirit. However, it is crucial to remember that your journey in art must be for and by yourself. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, art is the highest expression of man's joy and freedom, and of course art is just a metaphor. Replace the word art or painting with anything else you are passionate about, such as going to the gym, sports, calisthenics, or engaging in social work. Let your artistic practice be a path to self-discovery and self-expression. Do not seek external validation, but the internal satisfaction of knowing that you are living an authentic life, exploring your potential, and leaving an indelible mark on the world through your passion. Be kind, but limit contact. Maintaining a cordial relationship with someone even after paths have diverged is an art that reflects maturity and understanding. If you meet that person, adopt a friendly attitude, greet them warmly, ask about their well-being, and briefly share your own positive experiences. This conduct not only demonstrates your personal growth but can also be a balm for old wounds, allowing both to move forward in their lives with mutual respect. When interacting, it is wise to maintain a healthy emotional distance. Limit interaction to casual encounters and superficial conversations. In social events, a polite greeting is sufficient, then continue enjoying the company of other guests. If a funny anecdote arises, laugh naturally but without exaggerating to attract attention. These subtle but significant actions communicate your well-being and autonomy. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, the maturity of man is to have regained the seriousness he had as a child at play. Applying this principle to interpersonal relationships allows one to interact with others authentically and respectfully, maintaining an emotional distance that favors individual growth and collective harmony. Activate their hero instinct. Do you want that person to recognize the value you have brought to their life and what they now lack? Let me offer you an enriched perspective that will not only awaken their emotions but also make them appreciate the magnificent person they have left behind. This strategy can be used mainly by women, but men can also apply it inversely. The key lies in appealing to their intrinsic nature, to that heroic impulse that every man carries within. This concept, known as the hero instinct, was introduced by the renowned relationship expert James Bauer. It is based on the idea that men are genetically programmed to respond to certain stimuli in relationships, something many women are unaware of. By activating these stimuli, men transform into the heroes of their own narrative, experiencing a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction, loving more intensely, and committing more fervently when they find someone who knows how to ignite that heroic spark. You may wonder why it is called the hero instinct. Do men need to feel like superheroes to genuinely commit to a woman? The answer is simpler than it seems. It is not necessary to emulate Marvel characters or adopt the role of damsel in distress to capture their attention. The truth is that this process does not require great sacrifices or dramatic gestures on your part. With subtle adjustments in your interaction with him, you can access a facet of his being that remained unexplored. According to James Bauer, this instinct can be activated to improve romantic relationships and strengthen the bond between couples. To use the hero instinct, it is essential to ask your partner for help in both large and small tasks, allowing them to feel useful and valued. Additionally, it is crucial to express appreciation and gratitude for their contribution and protection, which in turn can increase their confidence and connection with the relationship. Open and direct communication about needs and desires also plays an important role, as it allows the partner to understand how they can be supportive. Allowing the partner to protect and care for you reinforces their protective role and desire for commitment. Each man is different, and what activates his hero instinct can vary, so it is important to know your partner and understand what specific actions trigger this instinct in them. The essence of the hero instinct lies in its simplicity. It is about communicating the right words that make him realize that you are the person he truly desires and needs. It is the most effective strategy to make him see how much he misses you. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how in the context of relationships." This means that when a man finds the reason why he wants to commit, he will overcome any obstacle to be with that special person. And you can be that reason that inspires him to reach his maximum potential as a partner and hero in his own life. This is a way to help you rekindle that flame that has not yet been extinguished. Stir up jealousy. Continuing with the plan to make those people feel bad for not valuing you, we have the classic tactic of making them jealous. From a psychological perspective, the behavior of seeking and showing a new relationship after a breakup can be interpreted as a strategy to provoke reactions in the ex-partner, or even works with friends. If you start going out with a new group of friends, you appear happy and complimented. You will no longer need those who distance themselves. You will see how they come back and feel desperate when you do not reopen the doors of your life to them. This behavior can be seen as an attempt to affirm one's ability to move forward, which could generate feelings of jealousy and possibly regret in the ex-partner or old friends for the separation. The search for a new partner to go out and have fun can be a tactic to capture the attention of those who did not value you, suggesting that the loss has not been so significant and that you can easily find substitutes. This act can be perceived as a demonstration of strength or dominance, similar to the alpha behaviors observed in nature, where the ex-partner is ignored and emphasis is placed on the new relationship. Posting images with a new partner or friends on social media can intensify these effects, as the public visibility of these images can increase the perception of replacement and moving forward. This can lead the ex-partner to question the new relationship and their own value in comparison, which could trigger a process of self-reflection and possibly a desire to reconnect. However, it is important to consider that these tactics can have different interpretations and effects depending on the individual dynamics of the relationship and the personalities involved. Additionally, these types of strategies may not be healthy for all parties, as they can foster a cycle of reactive behaviors and negative emotions instead of constructive resolution and personal growth after a breakup. Take your career seriously. The freedom from emotional ties can provide fertile ground for personal and professional growth. As Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This resonates with the idea that by freeing oneself from emotional chains, one can find a deeper purpose and pursue it with tenacity. When one sheds emotional distractions, a renewed focus on personal aspirations can emerge. Singleness, for example. is often seen as a state of freedom that allows a person to explore their true desires and ambitions without the complications that can arise from relationships. This state can be a catalyst for introspection and self-exploration, leading the person to consider paths that previously seemed unreachable or impractical, such as starting their own business or dedicating themselves to writing or art. The realization of these dreams, however, should not be an escape from reality or a distraction from loneliness, but a genuine expression of the inner self. It is an act of courage and authenticity, where one commits to their passion and works towards it with diligence and dedication. In this process, the person becomes the architect of their destiny, shaping their life not by external expectations or recognition, but by an internal drive towards personal fulfillment. On this path to self-realization, it is crucial not to seek external validation. Credit for achievements should reside within the individual, recognizing that every step taken is a reflection of their effort and dedication. In the end, as Nietzsche said, we are forging our own path, and it is this internal journey that defines us and gives meaning to our lives. By embracing solitude and channeling it towards our professional and personal goals, we not only transform ourselves but can also leave a lasting mark on the world around us. Invite their friends to a gathering. Social interaction and group dynamics play a crucial role in how people process their emotions and perceptions, especially after a breakup. Spending time with an ex-partner's friends activates a complex network of psychological processes. By sharing pleasant moments with their friends, a positive narrative about oneself is created that will likely be communicated to the ex-partner or friends who did not give you the value you deserved. This can generate in them a sense of loss or nostalgia when remembering the good times shared. However, it is important to consider the ethics of such actions. Although it may seem like an effective strategy to influence the ex-partner's perception, it can also be interpreted as manipulative. As Nietzsche said, "What is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil." This quote highlights the complexity of actions motivated by love and emotions, suggesting that they can transcend conventional moral norms. The assertion that one is fine, even when it is not the case, is a form of self-presentation that seeks to influence the image others have of us. It is a tactic of self-affirmation that can be both a form of self-protection and a strategy to provoke curiosity or interest in the ex-partner. Ultimately, this power play can have various consequences, both for the person employing it and for their ex-partner. It can be a tool for personal growth and emotional recovery, or it can become a cycle of psychological games that hinder closure and healing. Therefore, it is crucial to reflect on the motivations behind these actions and consider whether they contribute to long-term emotional well-being or if they simply perpetuate harmful behavior patterns. Move on. Personal growth after a separation is an introspective journey that demands recognizing and accepting the complexity of our emotions and experiences. Leaving behind a significant person is not merely an act of forgetting but a conscious process of re-evaluating one's life and reconstructing individual identity. It is a gradual path where each step forward is an affirmation of one's worth and a rejection of being defined by the presence or absence of another. In this process, it is natural to seek comfort in activities that bring us solace, such as retreating to the solitude of our room, enjoying comforting foods, or immersing ourselves in movies that evoke feelings of security and familiarity. These moments of indulgence should not be seen as weaknesses but as essential parts of a healing process that is as unique as each individual. Allowing oneself to live these experiences without guilt is recognizing that healing is not linear and that each emotion has its place in time. Moving forward implies an active acceptance of the present reality and a commitment to personal growth. It is not about erasing the past but integrating it into a broader personal narrative that includes both losses and lessons learned. It is an exercise in introspection where one learns to value one's own company and find satisfaction in autonomy. As the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, "Fate shuffles the cards and we play them." This metaphor illustrates the random nature of life and the importance of personal agency in responding to the circumstances presented to us. In the game of life, every decision and action taken after a loss is an opportunity to shape the future and reaffirm commitment to oneself and the path to personal growth. Love yourself. If he is not going to love you, do you know who should? You. The first person to choose you must be yourself. However, loving yourself can be harder than simply telling yourself that you do. Those past memories that haunt you, the actions you wish you hadn't taken, or the words you wish you hadn't said. Loving yourself requires accepting these things and forgiving yourself as if you were consoling and forgiving an old close friend. Do not keep punishing yourself for not being good enough for him. Remember, if he did not choose you, that is his problem. Loving yourself makes you stronger. Self-love is a psychological odyssey that involves deep self-knowledge and acceptance. It is not simply an act of affirmation, but a continuous process of introspection and reconciliation with oneself. Painful memories and past actions can become chains that bind us, preventing progress towards self-acceptance. By forgiving ourselves as we would a dear friend, we free ourselves from destructive self-criticism and allow ourselves to grow. The strength derived from self-love is not armor against rejection, but rather a solid foundation from which we can face life with resilience. In the end, the choice to be with someone or not should come from a place of personal fulfillment, not necessity. True happiness arises from inner peace, and often upon achieving it, we discover that the presence or absence of another person does not define our worth or joy. Self-love is therefore the revolutionary act of affirming that we are enough by ourselves, and in that sufficiency, we find our greatest revenge against those who did not know how to value us. Love yourself because you truly are impressive.